G'day folks, welcome back to Dune Awakening. I hope you guys are doing well. We're once again still outside of the second trial of Harko. I have done a few bits and pieces, so it's not like I've been just standing around here doing nothing. But I decided to, do most of that stuff off camera. But we are going to continue our journey into the Harko Rift. We might actually do a few things in between though. So since we're not so far away from Riftwatch, we may as well go back there and check it out. I did say that we sort of only went there to, do that quest line for the Atreides, but then we didn't exactly look around, did we? So that's probably the first thing that we want to do before going to Riftwatch. So yeah, let's head there, let's have a poke around, and let's see what we can find. Okay, here we are. Let's just get off the bike and I'm gonna quickly refuel it and also store it. And we'll head inside and see what this place is all about. Perhaps maybe we could take a look at whether or not they've got any missions for us worth doing. And perhaps maybe they might have some traders and whatnot here as well. So, yeah, laws of Canley, no combat here. But apparently the Harko Rift is a contested territory. I don't really know what that means. No contracts. Perhaps maybe you can only get contracts if you're aligned to the Harks, maybe.
You seem fit enough. But don't take that as a compliment. My standards are low. Care to train in the ways of the Mentat?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That should give us access to advanced training in Arrakeen, perhaps.
Before I can teach you, I must know that you are capable. I have tasks for you that are exceedingly simple, yet necessary.
Sure, let's accept it. Okay, so deliver plant fibers, 100 of them. Okay, that should be pretty easy to do. There is that other quest line for the trooper that we picked up in Arrakeen, which I reckon we should try to do as well. Let's have a chat here.
Atreides sycophants are not welcome here. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable in a shallow grave.
Okay, yeah. So because we're aligned to the Atreides, I suppose that's why we can't really do anything here. Okay, got some prisoners. These guys weren't here last time. I remember there was like a, just a bunch of soldiers sort of in formation. But this is a bit different. Perhaps maybe it changes every single time. Can we have a chat with any of these guys, or maybe not? Yeah, I'm just curious to see what we might be able to find in this area. Let's jump back up and curious. I wonder what that is. And I did see a staircase leading into somewhere. So we'll just have a quick look. Plenty of Harkonnens, not all of them interactable. Maybe this guy?
You look tired, darling. Playing for the losing side can give such wrinkles.
Ah, okay, so if we're thinking of defecting, we could actually do that if we speak to the right person. So I won't worry about that, because I'm pretty happy with my allegiance so far. I'm just sort of curious about what these guys are up to in this area. Yeah, they seem to have a very large base of operations, don't they? Is there anything else for us to do in this area, though? Okay. Doesn't look like there's too much. There's another building over here. We'll take a quick peek. So is there a Atreides equivalent of a base like this? I'm not sure, actually. Who are you?
You're obviously not one of the Harkonnen logistics officers I've been working with. If you have some other business with House Moritani, spit it out.
Okay, another house rep. Different house, though. Tell me more about House Moritani.
The martial prowess of House Moritani is known and feared throughout the Imperium, as is our industrial munitions capacity. More lives have been claimed by weaponry of Moritani manufacture than any other. A statistic we quote proudly.
You must do well on Arrakis.
In fact, the Raptum 4 platform was battle-tested right here on the Imperium Legion. So you know, if it's good enough to kill a Fremen, it's certainly good enough for you.
Is that why you're among the Harkonnen, Captain? To sell your wares?
I do have some current business with House Harkonnen, but my house is proud to say that our weapons are fired from both sides of this conflict.
Okay. Again, my assumption with all of these house reps is that they might come into play when we need to do certain quests. Let's maybe move in this direction, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of Harkonnen-looking structures. And yeah, I don't know what to expect in terms of interacting with people, but yeah, I get the feeling that the Harkonnen style is very domineering and oppressive. And if that's, you know, your sense of style, then, you know, you could essentially align yourself with them. This is the guy that we spoke to before about the Samuta, right?
You again? I know you, right? Have we met?
I'm no one, Lanov, just a ghost.
If you're nobody, then you're a Samuta dream. Kindly float away.
Gladly. Alright. I'm not sure if there's anything worthwhile checking out here, guys, so... Is that like a battlefield? And is that the reason why we've got Riftwatch over here? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so they've built like bridges around here, I suppose, so... and there's a big canyon down below. Perhaps maybe there's a whole bunch of nothing here. At least we checked everything out and just made sure, but I think it's time for us to move on. There seems to be a lot of, like, destroyed vehicles and whatnot, like ornithopters and the like. I should be able to break this down if I really wanted to. Like, do I want to? I suppose maybe it could be a good idea.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm.
Okay, sandstorm is rolling through, apparently. Oh god. I didn't even get a notification before the sandstorm arrived. Usually you get, like, a 2-minute warning before a sandstorm rolls through. Just trying to see if I can find any cover anywhere. Look, we're not losing health though, so I assume we're okay, but it'd be a very bad idea for us to try and continue with this sandstorm still blowing through. But it's probably not going to take us too long to wait. Yeah, there we go. It's all over now. Alright, so with that done, I think we should try to make our way to this deep extraction location, but because we are traversing in the Hager Rift, I think it might be a good idea if you guys sort of tag along for the journey, because we haven't exactly explored this area, and who knows what we could find here. Perhaps maybe find some of those crystals that I so badly need to try and make cobalt. Let's jump on and let's continue our journey. So plenty of carbon, but I'm not seeing anything else. Oh goodness. Alright, we're actually on high ground here, and maybe we have to be a little bit careful about holes that might give us a big drop. Another crashed ornithopter there. I'm just curious about what's going on down below. Yeah, that's actually really deep. I don't even see the end. So maybe not such a good idea to drop down there. Yeah, let's continue. I headed in the right direction. Probably not. That's back to the Harks. So yeah, we want to be heading roughly north, maybe northwest slightly, if we can get there. I don't actually see any Sardaukar out here, interestingly enough. Some kind of a cave system here. There is going to be a wreck right in front of us. Yeah, this area seems very difficult for traversal. Oh, and I've just realized, but perhaps maybe this is part of the same wreck here. Interesting. I'm gonna try and keep ourselves on the high ground for now. And if we really have to, we will drop down. Whoa. Nice and convenient that way. Okay, we're on a little bit of sand right now. That's good. Doesn't feel as precarious. Some kind of huge base in front of us there. Judging by the colors and everything, it might actually be a slaver camp. Yeah, I think so. I can't really zoom anymore. Something down there as well. Probably more slaver camps. I think we should take that pathway there. Actually, I'm going to be a bit desperate for water, so it might be a good idea for us to just try to collect what little water we can find. Because I feel like I'm going to be away from home for quite a bit. And all things considered, guys, it might be a, at this point in the game, a good time for us to think about moving the base. There is actually a quest line to create a tool that can copy our base for us to then place that base down somewhere else. So it might be interesting for us to play around with that. I might play around, you know, off camera just to, you know, see what it does. And, you know, I can show you guys where we've moved. Bit of fighting there. Yeah, not gonna worry about dealing with slavers or scavengers just yet. More sort of interested in seeing whether or not there are any interesting resources for us to try and gather that we haven't exactly seen before. Yeah, faction wars going on here. Yeah, this is a completely new area. This is probably not where we're supposed to be going. So let me just back out of that. And what I might do is just quickly tag this. And the third trial, I mean, look, we might not worry about trying to find the third trial just yet. We've only just done the second trial, so no need to rush. Okay, enemies are actually getting a little tougher to deal with, I feel. So where are we in the scheme of things? We might need to go down into these crevasses. And we'll do that, but once we're sort of comfortable knowing that we definitely will be able to get to a target destination. I'm just worried about being able to climb back out, but I assume that's not going to be an issue. I think we should go in that direction there. Very intricate cave systems and very, dare I say, interesting cave systems as well. And it definitely feels like a completely different type of biome from what we've seen so far. What is going on here? Some kind of a mining facility? Mineral extraction facility number 3. Curious. What is this? Ooh. Could this be Earthright? Nice. Okay. But I can't seem to break it down completely though. There we go. Alright, quite a bit of Earthright, and I'm very, very happy that I've found that, because Earthright has been holding us back a little bit, because that's what we need to make Cobalt, and everything seems to need Cobalt as soon as you get to, like, around, like, Tier 3. For example, like, even the sand bikes at Mark 3, you need a bit of that Cobalt. Things are feeling a little choppy here, so I'm not entirely sure if it's a server issue. I do apologize for the choppiness. I guess that's something that I can't exactly control. Alright. Well, very happy with that. I hope we find more of these crystals, but I feel like we're getting a bit sidetracked here. Does this get marked down? Yes, it does. We've got calibrated servox, which is nothing special, but ray amplifiers I've not seen before, so we might need to come back to try and find that. Do we go inside and just see if we can find some? I mean, we are already here. It might not be a bad idea. It depends on how difficult any of the enemies are going to be inside. If they are tough to deal with, we might actually need to retreat. How much space do I have in the inventory? Still a little bit. We probably do want to save a little bit of space for other stuff that we might retrieve from the mission objective, but... Come to think of it, my cutter is actually almost out of durability. I will need to think about repairing that. Or, better yet, maybe it's time that we upgrade to Cutter Mark III. But I get the feeling that's also going to need Cobalt. So just as well we're finding all of this Earthright. Whoa. Okay, sniper up there, I think. Yeah, there he is. Got him. Alright, I'll take some fuel cells, but I might hold off on picking up more fuel cells from here. And also, look, as tempting as it is to pick up more Earthright crystals, I feel like I'm running out of space for it. What's pretty easy to find at home? I think all of this stuff we should get rid of. Salvaged metal, I'll probably get rid of that. Alright. Let's check out what's going on up here. Is there a better way to get up here, or... maybe there's an actual pathway. I'm looking for those, amplifiers or whatever they are. Wow. That's a lot of Earthright. Right. I'm not gonna bore you guys with picking up like all of the Earthright right now, because all that I'm happy about is now I know exactly where to go to try and find heaps and heaps of the stuff when I need it. Too bad it's actually quite far from home, at least for now. But we may fix that. There was another pathway, wasn't there? So I should check out what's going on if we continue along that path. Because we still haven't found the amplifier thingos just yet. Unless this is leading back out? I feel like you could traverse this area with a sand bike and just completely bypass everything if you really wanted to. Where the hell are we? Okay, we are back outside. Is this where we came in? I'm so confused now. Alright, that's okay, guys. We will come back for ray amplifiers another time. I'm more interested in trying to get to this contract location. And it should be just sort of over in that direction, although... maybe it's through there? Time to break out the sandbike, I think. So we got maybe a slaver camp or some other type of faction. I do like the scout armor of some of the enemies that we're seeing now. It looks pretty cool. I hope we can actually make something like that. Okay, so this is another Chome mineral extraction facility. Is this where we need to be? It's in that direction, but it's down by about 65 meters. Yeah. Okay. So I would say we probably want to go into this facility and have a poke around. And we're supposed to meet someone. And apparently we're supposed to get them out of this place. So I don't know what that means exactly. Goodness me. Alright. Let's focus on the mission.
Who are you? They're here!
Okay. Perhaps maybe we've been tricked. Oh goodness, alright. We do have to kill all of them though.
You're not leaving here alive. Here. Found you. I shall be over soon.
Nice, okay. That parry skill actually does a little bit of damage to enemies, isn't it? So it is nice if you can get a few of them off if you're dealing with a lot of melee attackers at once, so you can essentially chip away at enemy health. Is that blood over there? Maybe. Alright, so we didn't really see the contact, but we were ambushed. So we're probably going to need to report all of that back to Tolliver. So let's go ahead and do that. I will perhaps cut here, and I'll meet you guys back at the anvil, and I'll try and collect some earthright along the way. Alrighto guys, we are back at the anvil. Not gonna lie, it was actually kind of difficult to navigate back here from the Haga Rift, specifically from down below, you know, the canyonous area. It does feel like a little bit of a maze, so I think it's probably a good idea for us to move base sometime very soon. And I may consider doing that in the next episode, in fact. But anyway, let's have a chat with Tolliver.
We meet again.
I went to meet your informant and was ambushed.
What? That's disturbing.
You're not trying to get rid of me, are you?
Of course not. Ours is a paranoid field, but I would not do that. If you don't trust my integrity, trust that you are a valuable asset. What happened?
At the meeting point, I was jumped by deserters in Atreides armor.
Disconcerting. Either my informant was intercepted, or I've been fed false information. Whichever the case, we need to investigate further.
Do you have anything new for me?
Unfortunately, I do. Something more somber, but it needs doing. I need a body and ID tags located to clear a name.
Sometimes we have to be the voice of the dead.
We must defend the honor of our brothers and sisters, living and dead.
Sure, I'm on it.
In light of your previous endeavor, I suspect I know whom the tags belong to. At least we can hope to clear his name and death.
Okay, no worries. We'll definitely do that. But I figure at this point, we should go back to the pilot and actually get ourselves to
somewhere today?
none other than Harko Village, because we did check out
Where do you want to
Arakeen.
go?
So yeah, let's take a look at Harko Village and see what they have to offer.
Well, the Harkonnens love their docking fees, so that's gonna cost a little extra.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Well, All right.
2,500
Doctor's
Solaris.
on the roof. Let's get out of here.
Okay, here we are, Harko Village. I assume that's the exit over there, so maybe we need to go in that direction. Again, a very sort of domineering and oppressive aesthetic. Expected no less. Let's see what kind of services are on offer and who we can actually speak to. That's probably just another player. Probably a lot of other players in this area. Let me have a look at the map, actually, that might help. So, Spire Keep. I wonder if that's like a bank, similar to what we found in Arakeen. There's a Harkonnen vendor there, which I don't think we'll be able to deal with. A lot of interesting looking checkpointy things.
Still sniffing scraps from the hand of the Atreides. Oh, I suspect they've let a secret or two slip. I suspect a little treachery would take you far.
I suppose maybe this is something that we can do if we were part of the house. Maybe. And let's check in on the vendor, just in case.
Trade with Atreides scum or their sympathizers.
Yeah, okay. No worries, that's fine. Am I hearing, like, people being tortured or something? Or maybe just slaves or something? Could be. Let's have a look around further. More stuff if we just press on in this area, actually. So let's take a look. Yeah, I don't really feel like the greatest vibe being around the Harkonnen, that's for sure. I feel like Arakeen's definitely going to be more my jam.
Yes, I see you. State your business. This is not the den of leisure and luxury it appears to be. I am busy. What do you want?
Yeah, let's take a look at what they have. And okay, so if you're out of materials, you can simply buy stuff without the need to have to go out and get stuff yourself, which is always nice to know. Blank sync chart. What does this do? Can be populated with survey data. Open the map and select a surveyed area to populate it. Requires a cartographer passive from the planetologist skill tree. Oh, okay. I'll circle back to that. Probably don't need to look at it just now. Another water trader, perhaps?
I see you. I see you. Just a moment. I mean no offense by my delay. My limbs do not respond as quickly as they once did. You will be wanting a dram of my water, is that right?
Are you Fremen?
I trace my blood through theirs, yes. But we here have grown far from our brothers and sisters out in the far reaches of the desert. I myself have never even seen the inside of a siege.
Do you know where I can find them?
Oh, I know nothing of their world, but understand, a location is of no use to you. You will find nothing if they do not wish to be found. Fortunate for someone like you. Meeting them would be only the beginning of your troubles.
Why do you say that?
This is their world, their home. Outfriend bring nothing but misery. To the Fremen, you may serve only as water for the tribe.
What can you tell me about Harko?
Oh, I have lived here all my life. Even so, I don't think I can tell you very much. My father knew so much of this place, a story for every moment. He was a fine man.
Surely you must know something.
It's been Harko village since before I was born, but my father told me that not much before my time. It was called Gerona, before the Harkonnen came.
Who were here before the Harkonnen?
Their name is lost to my memory, but many riches they had. My father spoke of them many times. I remember because he wished the Harkonnen never came. Father said life before the Harkonnen was hard, but not cruel. The Harkonnen changed everything. But it's all I've ever known.
Did your father say anything else?
Oh, so many things. Old stories of our people, songs he taught me. But there was one thing I still remember, because it always set my mind to dreaming. I'll say, but only if you never tell another. I will trust you.
And what is it?
He said that Harko hides a great secret. I know every old place has secrets, but this was different. If you find it, you'll tell me, won't you?
Okay. Let's just take a look. Okay, I suspect it was just some water, if we're really desperate. Alright, very interested in having a chat with various vendors. So what is it with the Harkonnen and, like, donkeys? Or, yeah, these are donkeys, right? Mules. What's the deal with Harkonnen and mules?
I'm going to stop you right there and say straight off that for any repair, construction, or renovation job, I'm booked solid through the next 8 months. So don't even ask. Best I can do is maybe let you have a few supplies, what little I can get my hands on, that is. War's great for repair work, but the supply chain's as gone as the Fremen.
Let's take a look. Ah, sweet. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of sets here. Chome sets, it appears to be. So I do want to buy some of this stuff because I want a little bit more variety. Dining room decoration set. Yeah, I mean, Solari is easy to come by anyway. More dining room furniture. Yeah, we'll take that, because we don't exactly have a dining area, do we? Advanced lights, I do like a bit of lighting. Office decorations, bedroom, small decorations. I'll take that. Well, you know what? I'll buy everything. Just because I've got the Solari for it. But, isn't the trip back like another 2,500 Solari? I can't remember now. But I was going to just mention to you guys that I wanted to buy more furniture if we do ever get the chance. So, I mean, that was kind of nice that we just walked right into it.
Hello. If you're planning to head out to collect spice, I have all that you need. Okay, so another spice trader there. Probably selling, like, spiced foods and drinks. Which we have seen. The Landstrad vendors. Let's actually take a look at them. So I don't really know what they are all about. Is that even... Maybe they're on the upper levels? Is there an upper level? Possibly. Might have to work our way there. Maybe this is the bank? Or... no, this is... some kind of a bar, yeah. These guys seem to really like their Samuda and shishas and stuff like that.
Welcome to Hanover. Templars. Follow 3 simple rules and you'll have a good time. Rule number 1. We maintain a segregated lounge. You must stay within your own designated cast area. The Na Familia will not abide a low-born interloper, and I don't want to hear the bitching. This rule is for your own protection. They sit around waiting for any excuse to invoke Canley and kill you where you stand. Rule number 2. All drinks cost what they cost. You pay up front, no haggling and no discounts for any Harkonnens. Don't even ask. Rule number 3, stay out of the back room. It's off limits. I'm Anushka Hanovar. This is my place.
The back room, you say? What happened to the Fremen?
The same thing that happens to any poor savages that don't submit to the Imperial yoke. My world had its own primitives that suffered the same fate. The ones who adapt survive. The Fremen had no chance against the Sardaukar.
What's Harko village like?
At its heart, a village like any other. At least it was before they came. Grigori Harkonnen was an unusually agreeable village lord, especially for a Harkonnen. But then Carthage was destroyed, and all those great house bastards took up here in Harko.
Which great house bastards?
Glossu the Beast Rabban and his snake of a Mentat. A name I shall not utter lest his evil gaze turns upon me. Have to hand it to Grigory, though. He played it exactly right and stood aside before the beast could push him from the spire.
You speak critically about the Harkonnen. Is that safe?
I speak the truth. That is all. The beast can eat Yazla. Our loyalties were to Count Abelard Rabban, and not his demon son. The Count used to sail with Father on whaling expeditions. It was Abelard who presented us with this beer hall in gratitude for ending Krasinok's reign of terror. But I think Father looks at the boon as more of a retirement gift from an old friend for a life of loyal service.
What happened to Count Abelard?
It said Glossu strangled his father to death with his bare hands. I pray it's not true, but it said that's how the beast got his name.
Is it wise to speak about it?
Wise? No. But wisdom is in shorter supply than water on Arrakis. I say what I think, and there's nothing they can do about it. I know where the bodies are buried. I know their big secret. A hidden truth about this town that would bury them all if it ever found the right ears. And they know I have contingencies in place, should anything happen to me or Father.
That sounds dire.
It's a stalemate. I mess with them and they can't do anything about it. But they know I'm stuck here. Father is too old to go anywhere else. And I won't leave him. So they've got me where they want me. Until he's gone. But that's another conversation.
I thought she was about to give us like a quest there, but... Tell me about Hanovar's. I've never seen any place like it.
Because you've never been to my homeworld. Every millimeter of stonecrete, every glass portal, and every shape beam in here is meant to invoke a unique construction detail found only on the ice planet, Lenkivale. In truth, we are shamelessly borrowing from the renowned design mentat Hansia Einwald, but I like to think he would be flattered. If he wasn't dead.
A giant fish. Is there a giant fish somewhere in the bar, maybe? What about this giant fish?
The nautical theme and ornamentation celebrates our homeworld's most famous export. The magnificent and priceless furs of the great Beyondux whale. The bones of which hang suspended above the beer hall as our dramatic centerpiece. This particular specimen was an especially infamous and fearsome beast known as Krasinok.
Furs from a whale. I suppose it's an alien whale. Did you catch Krasinok yourself?
Me? That's a good laugh. No, that would be my father, Ilyich. He was a whaleboat captain in his younger days. In fact, Father was granted this place as a boon for catching the beast. Krasinook sent more than 30 boats to the bottom before Father finally took it. 11 men and 4 limbs were lost in the 8-day running battle with the beast. Neural harpoons bristling from its ivory hide like a hedgehog. A hide that now hangs behind the Baron's rather ample habitus as a fancy dress cape.
Let's take a look at what she has. Yeah, okay, I mean, a whole bunch of spiced stuff. Some casual clothes. Looks kind of interesting, though. I don't know if you can wear this sort of stuff, you know, on top of your armor. I mean, a lot of it is pretty expensive, though. Like, this one's, like, the boots. 10,000. A Giedi casual shirt. Yeah. We don't need all of this stuff right now. Bar. A guy's just stood on the bar. Let's see. I'm just trying to find, like, interesting characters. She did say, like, there's a back room that we need to avoid or whatever. I mean, I could always just have a squiz. No one else worth speaking to. Where is this? Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah, interesting looking specimen.
A kitten wanders in from the dark, lost and afraid. Can I help you, kitten?
Who are you?
Kitten. If you needed to know that, you'd know. Why don't you come back and talk to me when you have something to talk to me about?
Maybe she's some kind of syndicate leader or whatever. I guess that was the back room. They didn't exactly tell us to leave or anything. Well, I mean, technically she did, but they didn't boot us out, so at least there's that. Consulate, tax collector. You know what? Let's pay our taxes. It's been a while. And I don't know if I actually spoke to a consulate. I guess maybe it's just a house representative. Like, this is another house representative, right?
Welcome, stranger. What business have you with House Alexan?
Tell me more about House Alexan.
If you haven't heard of House Alexan, you will soon. Our influence grows rapidly into hearts, minds, and most of all, stomachs.
Stomachs? Maybe they're like farmers or whatever, or producers.
We're traditional farmers and producers. We feed half the Imperium at any given time and make sure that nobody from Mala to Noble goes hungry.
There isn't much farming on Arrakis.
Oh, but you're wrong. Arrakis has the greatest crop of all, melange. A part of my mission here is to study the methods of harvesting and find options. Alas, I've said too much on this topic. Please, let's speak of other things.
Alright, let's check in with the tax collector.
Welcome, fellow citizen. How is it that the Imperial Tax Administratum can assist you today?
What if I don't want to pay my taxes?
I'm afraid that's a matter you would have to take up with the Imperial Bailiff Authority. In most cases, you would simply be given additional time to pay, at the end of which you would pay, or be remanded to a local debtor's prison until your outstanding balance was settled. Unfortunately, that second outcome mostly equates to the death penalty, or so I'm told. Apparently, the pox is rife within the dungeons, and one is not expected to survive very long. So pay those taxes.
Can you tell me about Harko Village?
There isn't much to tell. One provincial backwater is much the same as the next. Although, I'll admit, some are less desolate than others. While Harko has the makings of something more, I'm afraid that potential will never be realized under the current administration.
The Harkonnens?
While I'm certain that Count Raban has the village's best interests at heart, I'm afraid he is all consumed with the Neo-Carthag construction project. And unfortunately, Neo-Carthag is both over time and over budget, which leaves the Count with little bandwidth for village matters. And Harko suffers as a result. Why Count Raban doesn't simply restore the village's previous and rightful lord to the position is beyond me.
Who is the proper lord of Harko village?
It's Count Raban's own cousin, Grigori Harkonnen. A most agreeable and competent village headman, if there ever was. Grigori was the custodian of Harko long before the beast and his retinue arrived, and will be so again when Neo-Carthag is finally complete.
So this Neo-Carthag, we did hear about this even in the first episode, right? Like, a lot of prisoners get sent there to do hard labor, I suppose. Some kind of a mine, perhaps? So when will this be?
Not even the Baron himself can predict that. No, the project has been plagued in every way possible. From sabotage to sandstorm damage to the theft of key construction materials, which are then offered back to Count Raban at an exorbitant markup. Thus far, Neo-Carthag has been an unmitigated disaster. Believe me, I've seen the books.
Alright, let's pay our taxes, if we can actually, because we did end up paying a whole bunch. Oh, okay, we don't have any taxes due since the last time we paid. That's nice. Always good to be, you know, paid up in full for your taxes. Weapons merchant. I don't know if we have what it takes to buy weapons. Vehicles vendor. It's a guild bank. We do have some Solari in the guild bank, don't we? So I don't know if there's going to be anything else interesting to see here. I'm trying to look for trainers, wherever they may be. Particularly Swordmaster trainers.
And what are you supposed to be?
Oh, she's a Bene Gesserit. I wish to train in the Bene Gesserit ways. Okay. I guess we don't have enough training. Like, she's probably an advanced trainer.
I've not seen you before. Pray, what can you want from me?
Take a look at this stuff. Requires reputation level 5. Okay. So we can buy from here. It's just that we need either Atreides or Harkonnen level 5. I think. I could be reading that wrong. The Baron's Eye. No, this is just simply the marker for the bank. Not the bank, the tax office, the consulate. Is this just signifying the center and the hologram? Maybe. Trome exchange. Vehicle vendor. Let's check out the vehicle vendor.
I knew you'd be back. Only a matter of time.
What's that smell?
I assume you mean the Samuta and not me. I am quite particular about my hygiene, my friend.
Are you an addict?
Not myself, no. But after Mother died, my father found solace in the escape the drug provides. Now the little that is left of him yearns for nothing else. It is a dismal, blind alley to travel. Mind you keep clear of Samuta.
Let's take a look at what he has. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Pretty expensive. I mean, if you can't be bothered to make all of this stuff yourself, which I am going to try and do, obviously, you can always buy parts here. Just assemble stuff back at home. Beast's Bend? I don't understand why the map has difficulty sort of zooming out. Seems a bit weird. Is it permanently night in this place as well? Might be.
I don't recognize the pattern of your footfalls. Who are you?
Finally, a swordmaster, but he might be an advanced trainer. But actually that doesn't matter, right? Because we've got swordmaster training already. I am one who seeks a swordmaster.
You're in dubious luck then. I am an adept of the Ginaz school. Millennia of martial knowledge distilled down to the broken form before you. Though I'm but a mangled memory of Saren Valen, a memory is enough to thrash you. Keep your distance.
Easy. I mean you no harm.
Seems there's an old custom on this cruel planet to cast the blind out among the dunes for burial by way of Wormbelly. Several curs accosted me to uphold that tradition. I scribed regret upon their flesh in so bold a signature as they won't soon forget. On guard.
I seek further training in the ways of the swordmaster.
Whether you are worthy or not, my days of training are long gone. Still, there's something you could do for me, and maybe we can reach an accord.
I'll do what you ask if you train me.
In a recent scrape, I gave as good as I got. But the knaves made off with the last possession that is important to me. The hilt of my old Ginaz sword. Find out who did this, and I would find myself obliged to you.
Sure, I'll see what I can do.
Off you go then.
Farewell. I'll ask him about himself, though.
You find me felled by the slings and arrows of calamity. Yet the universe will not let me die. I abide. I always abide. If you have eyes, I must appear a beggar, blind and broken. But once, I was a warrior, a sword master of Ginaz. Once, I was Saren Valen. Now, I am a walking mausoleum to his name.
You are Saren Valen, the swordmaster who trained Duncan Idaho himself?
That is who I was. In the days of honorable duels, shining steel, and laughter. As I crawl through the sand and shit of Harko, high ideals fade.
What brought you to such a state?
Betrayal upon betrayal made me, as you see. My enemies stripped everything from me, though they will not let me die.
Can you elaborate?
I do not. My trust in others is as mutilated as my body. The details of my betrayal are of no concern to you.
Tell me more about Ginaz swordmasters.
More than mere blade slingers, a swordmaster is a force unto themselves. They can repair force shields, plan military campaigns, and improvise weapons. A swordmaster is a thread to a grand tapestry, an ancient tradition, a celebration of human excellence defying mediocrity and thinking machines. If there is romance in our image, it is not the glorification of violence, but the celebration of humanity in the face of the cold void.
Does a warrior with a sword mean anything in the face of House Atomics?
If warfare is ever completely reduced to the pressing of a single dread button, then the Butlerian Jihad was for naught. The great houses employ both House Atomics and Ginaz swordmasters, for they see our value.
Tell me more about House Ginaz.
From our homeworld on Ginaz, we trace our roots all the way back into the long ago. fighting the thinking machines in the Butlerian Jihad.
I would like to understand a little bit more about this Butlerian Jihad. I wonder if it's actually canon, like in the books. Again, I did tell you guys that I've read the first book, but that's about it. What happened to House Ginaz?
My house fell, defeated by House Mauritani in the War of Assassins. I would be saddened if the same fate befell House Atreides. As you wish.
Okay, cool. I am so happy that we found the Swordmaster, finally. So, we should be able to complete that quest. In fact, that is probably going to be one of my top priorities now, because I want to be able to use up some of my skills, or skill points rather, to, you know, be able to assign those points into the Swordmaster tree, but I just can't do so right now until I unlock some advanced training. I'm just trying to see if there's anything going on up this way. But if there's nothing, then, you know, we might actually move on to go back home, and I would say we'll probably want to try and process a lot of that cobalt, see if we can make anything with it that we might be needing for further adventures into the Haga Rift. Not entirely sure what's going on in here. Oh, this is just part of the consulate building. Oh, good. That's another house representative who I'm not going to worry about talking to. Who's this?
Welcome, stranger. If you come seeking treatment, I have all manner of locally sourced natural remedies for whatever ails you.
I'm looking for something a little stronger than that.
Do not underestimate the potency of ground Zithrakian antlion eggs. An amount no greater than the head of a pin can instigate the regeneration of necrotized tissue at the cellular level. On more primitive worlds, they believe it is magic.
Okay, so she's like some kind of a doctor or healer or medical supply trader or something along those lines. So yeah, this is the Landsrad vendor. I can't remember if I did go to a Landsrad vendor previously. Oh, what do we have here? Weapons?
Without a decree of the Landsred favor, you waste not only your time, but mine.
Okay, so we probably can't interact with any of these guys just yet, because we don't have favor of the Landsrad at the moment.
You are not recognized by the Landsrad. Come back if you're for...
Okay, it could be a multiplayer thing, which, you know, we could at some point visit. But anyway, I think it's time for us to go back home and continue crafting stuff for future episodes. Hang on, where's my pilot? No. Oh yes, that's right. Sorry, I forgot. You do have to go through these checkpointy sort of laser beamy things. Righto guys, we are back home, finally. Now, let me just quickly get off the bike here, and before I forget, might want to just quickly refuel that as well. And the first thing that I want to do immediately is to try and get more cobalt made. And with all of the earthright crystals that we have, we should get quite a bit here, so I'm going to craft the maximum amount that we can. That should take up quite a lot of the water that we've had banked up, although I guess our system is still looking pretty full here. I am going to deposit more blood. And from here, we should sort of decide what we're going to use all of that cobalt for. I figure, considering the types of enemies that we're dealing with in the Haga Rift, we should consider crafting some better gear right away. And I think we picked up a few interesting things like this, the pseudo pulse sword, which I believe we should have everything we need to craft. So let's get that going. And in addition to that, I also believe that we've got some decent things to hopefully use or to craft to replace some of the armor pieces that we currently have. So all of this stuff, we are going to need spice-infused items, which I believe those things are only obtainable... I don't know if it's through refinement of materials or you have to actually just pick them up out in the world. Let me just... Oh yes, a repair station. I'm still at Cutaway Mark II, but I wonder if we can upgrade to Mark III now. Let me just take a look at that. So Mark I, Mark II... do we not have it researched, perhaps? Here. No, this is something that we can't really get to immediately because of the ray amplifiers, so I'm definitely going to want to try to look out for those ray amplifiers. Unfortunately, I did not come across any while I was trying to get my way back to, you know, to the anvil, so that was a little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll come across some. If not, I might actually do some research on how to find it. But yes, let's craft what we can from the fabricator. I suppose what I should do is just take a look at the value of some of these things. So this is giving me 47. And what I currently have is, yeah, 28. Probably a good idea for us to get this. So let's do that. And soft step boots. We've got a couple of these. That is giving us 47, and yeah, that was going to be a definite upgrade. So let's get one of those as well. We can recycle everything else, and for the moment, I'm going to need to repair my Cutaway Mark II. We may as well repair the power pack. The Holtzman shield. We might be able to go for a Mark III at this point. Do I have it researched? I likely already have it researched, so let us just take a quick look at that. Probably under combat. Holtzman Shield Mark II. Perhaps I don't have it researched just yet. That's the Mark II. Use the Mark III. Oh, I can't make it from the normal fabricator. So this is where the survival fabricator is probably going to start coming into play. So... where is it? Here. Holtzman Shield Mark III. Do we have everything for it? Yes, we've got the cobalt paste as well. So definitely want one of those. A new welding torch. We might need this if we are to build any of the more advanced vehicles. But I might sort of come back to that and wait until we absolutely have a need for it. Because I'm just making an assumption here that maybe the old welding torch is still going to be enough to assemble, say, a Mark III, you know, sand bike. If I can, I would like to perhaps go for a buggy instead of a sand bike. But who knows, we might actually be a little bit limited with the resources that we currently have. So let's just grab all of the new and wonderful things. Let me deposit some fuel cells in there. And let's get equipped. We might need to recycle a whole bunch of stuff as well, so... well, let's pop that in there. And... use all of these. Yeah, it doesn't look any different though, but we know that it's at the very least giving us better stats. And everything else I could maybe just recycle and I could perhaps store a whole bunch of stuff. I might do that off camera, but let me just find all of the stuff that I can recycle here. Oh, the shield. I haven't put the shield on. Don't want to accidentally recycle the shield. Pop that on. Nice. So we should be able to tank quite a few more darts and whatnot. You would hope. Okay, now with that done, let me take a quick look at our vehicle fabricator. Goodness me, it is night again, and we're probably going to be needing to avoid those Sardaukar ships. Looks pretty clear at the moment, so let's just take a look at what we're going to need for a buggy. So, yeah, a lot of this is going to take a bit of cobalt paste. So some of these are nice to haves. What is the most important component of a buggy, though? I guess buggy treads. I don't know how many we need for a single buggy, but I will craft at least, let's say 2. And we'll definitely need a PSU. Just looking around. A buggy engine. And that's probably all we can make at the moment. We're out of steel. So I'm gonna need to work on making some steel and probably gathering up some more iron and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a lot of busy work, that's for sure. I mean, I can make another 200 iron ingots. Let's go for more steel ingots to begin with. I'm also out of carbon ores, apparently. But I can also top up on iron ingots here. Let's go with 100. So that should keep that machine busy. And yeah, by the time we come back in the next episode, I would say, guys, that we would have had gathered all of the materials required for a buggy. I'll probably just need to construct the rest of the components and we'll assemble one. And with any luck, because I'm going to need to go out to the Haga Rift to find more Earthright crystals for more cobalt, I might come across some of those, what do you call those, like the focal ray things that we need for certain Mark III components. So we'll keep an eye out on those, but I figure in the next episode, we're going to try to focus on the Atreides questline a little bit more, but I do have a plan to also move the base, or at least figure out how to move the base, and also do a few other quests that we've got going on here in the current area, sort of near the anvil. At least maybe a little bit more northeast. So there's this quest here, I believe. Hang on. Is that the one that I want? Could be... Or sorry, my bad. So it is in the next area. This one about the missing sister. So this looks like a really interesting formation to me, and I do want to try and go to Kidir's Shadow. There's a couple of intel points there as well, so I think that's a worthwhile quest for us to do. But I hope you guys don't mind if I clear out outposts and all that sort of stuff in my own time, and I might show, you know, a few of those things here and there, but not all of them. I just wanted to mention one last thing before I leave. I'm not entirely sure of the sustainability of the series, and I was initially thinking of wrapping things up at episode 20, but I am enjoying the game quite a bit, so we'll see how we go. We could go and wrap up at 20, or perhaps maybe 25, or maybe even 30. Depends on, you know, what the game is doing for us, you know, around those episodes. I'm just finding that it is very high effort to make some of these videos, especially with all of the busy work involved, this being an MMO and all. But yeah, otherwise we could continue things and have some of the episodes run for longer, but perhaps maybe some of those episodes might not come out as frequently. We'll see how we go. Anyway, once again, signing out. Thanks for watching. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.